Iowa has a reputation for sleepy small towns, but some of the data shows crime statistics that you need to know about before you buy. I dug into some of those numbers so that you won't be surprised. At the end, I'm going to talk about a couple of the cities that are absolutely crushing it when it comes to safety. If you're thinking about moving to the Des Moines area, don't click away, because buying a home and where you live is more than just granite countertops. It's about feeling safe when you're coming home at night and walking in from the car. So let's get into it. Hi, I'm Andre Duga. I'm a local realtor here in the Des Moines area, and I help families, who are moving to this area choose neighborhoods and communities based on, commute and amenities and parks and recreation and, yes, safety. How I looked up my numbers today. I took these numbers from the Uniform Crime Report for Iowa cities, and I did it per 1,000. These numbers a lot of times are represented by per 1,000, and I just, changed those numbers so that we could talk about a little bit different numbers. These numbers are, based on the total amount of reported crimes per year. There's violent crime and property crime. Violent crime is crimes against a person, and property crime is crimes against a property, like vandalism on a house or a car or something like that. Anyway, you want to look at these numbers as a tool. You're gonna see a number for a certain city, and you're gonna say, "Oh my gosh, a lot of crime in that neighborhood." Well, yeah, in that city, yes, it is in the city. It's citywide. So some neighborhoods have, a lot of crime, and some neighborhoods don't. So you're going to want to use this as a tool, and then you're going to want to drive down a little bit deeper. You're going to want to look at this neighborhood. You're going to want to visit the neighborhood. You're going to want to look at police reports, and I can help you with all that. You're going to want to knock on doors, talk to neighbors, and actually ask them, what it's like in those neighborhoods. I think the best thing to do is just to drive through the area and, or walk through the area at certain different times, maybe in the morning, in the afternoon. And for me, I would go like in the evenings. But anyway, let's get right into it. We're going to talk about 6 of the cities and their crime rates in Iowa. I'm doing something a little different. I'm going to talk about real crime data in these areas. So the way that I looked at my data is you're going to hear me say, X crimes per 1,000. They're reported in, X crimes per 100,000, and they adjust those if you have a city of like 50,000. They just adjust it so they can talk about and compare like numbers, so that you can compare cities a little bit easier. So a couple of numbers just for reference. The average crime rate in the entire state of Iowa is 21.2, approximately 21.2 per 1,000. And an interesting stat that I saw that surprised me when I was looking up all these numbers is that the worst state for crime in the United States is Alaska. That surprised me. Alaska and New Mexico usually are in the top 1 and 2. So anyway, that surprised me. I thought you might be interested in that. So some good news first. Statewide, generally stable numbers in Iowa. The numbers are either stable or they're going down. Violent crime has gone down 14% in the years of like between 2019 and 2024. Property crime has been down 28%. That gives a total of crime going down of like 26% over recent years. So great news. So number 6 is Ottumwa. Ottumwa has an average of 34.7 per 1,000 crime rate. It's a river rail town with a manufacturing background, and economic ups and downs, show up in crime rates. The crime numbers are mostly attributed to, property crime like auto theft. But there's some violent crime in some of the neighborhoods, and so you just have to vet some of the neighborhoods. You're going to find some good rent, some affordable housing in that area. You just have to vet each neighborhood, like I talked about. Drive by and take a look if you're thinking about buying in that area. By the way, if we haven't met yet, my name is Andre Dugas. I'm a local realtor here in the Des Moines area. I help people just like you move to the area. Maybe you're upgrading, maybe you're downsizing, maybe you're relocating to this area. Give me a call. My contact information is in the description. I would love to help. Number 5 is Council Bluffs. Council Bluffs has a 35.3 per 1,000 crime rate. And it's a border town. It borders the state and it also borders Omaha. It's also a river town. So you've got high density populations contributing to property crime in those areas. There are pockets of Council Bluffs that are fine, and some of them that are a little bit quieter. Investors can find some good deals in those areas. You're going to want to compare some of the areas closer to the river to the quieter neighborhoods kind of inland. Fort Dodge has a crime rate of 43.1 per 1,000. It's also got the highest violent crime rate in Iowa. So Fort Dodge has a high crime rate and it's also got a very high violent crime rate. Those two together merit extra caution for buyers. It's an older industrial town with neighborhoods clearly split. As with a lot of the towns, downtown has a higher concentrations. If you're moving into this area, you're going to want to take extra caution, maybe even consider an alarm system or extra lighting, in that area. So if you're from some of these areas and you disagree with some of these numbers, maybe they're worse or maybe they're better than what I'm talking about, let me know in the comments. Look, I'm not familiar with all of these areas. I'm looking up stats on a lot of these areas. So let me know. So number 3 is Des Moines. Des Moines has a 38.5 per 1,000 crime rate. Des Moines is the largest city in Iowa, so with those numbers naturally comes higher numbers. Lots of people, lots of targets. In the Des Moines area. I'm pretty familiar with the Des Moines area. I'm very familiar with the Des Moines area, and location really does matter. There's some pockets in there that you're going to want to choose. Some of the best neighborhoods around are in the Des Moines area. It just depends, and you're going to want to look at police reports and talk to neighbors and really dive deep into these neighborhoods. Some of them are great. I highlight a lot of them in my videos in the Des Moines area, and you can get some great deals in some really nice neighborhoods. Very convenient locations right there in the Des Moines area. But it does have a high crime rate. Again, as I mentioned in several times in this video, you really need to use these numbers as a tool and just drive down a little further into these areas. If you're concerned, definitely visiting the neighborhood is probably the best thing you can do. Number 2 is Sioux City. Sioux City has a crime rate of 39 per 1,000. It's mostly property crime. It's got 33.5 per 1,000 on the property crime. It's a tri-state hub. You got a lot of industrial and commercial real estate in that area. Of course, suburbs in that area is going to be your safer bet. Kind of the new construction suburbs in those areas. For investors, there's a high rental demand in those areas. You're just going to want to screen your tenants, and property maintenance is going to be, you want to concentrate heavily on property maintenance and screening. And number 1 is Davenport. Davenport has a crime rate of 45.3 per 1,000. Davenport is, registers the highest crime rate in Iowa. It's a river town, a lot of industrial. What drives it is a lot of property crime, but you've also got the violent crime in there too. Violent crime is 6.9 per 1,000. You've got different neighborhoods. You've got some that have been revitalized and some that lag behind economically. Just like I've said in a lot of the other ones, you just want to vet these neighborhoods. You want to drill down a little bit more, maybe budget for security. You're going to want to look at police reports and definitely visit the neighborhoods at different times, like I talked about in each of these situations. All right, so enough of the negative. You don't have to be afraid to move to Iowa. They've got some really nice, great, safe choices in the area. One of the mentions is Clive. Clive is a great area, great neighborhoods, low overall crime count, and a really nice area to go to. Next city I want to talk about is Urbandale. Urbandale overall is only 8 crimes reported per 1,000 per year. Great neighborhoods. You've got a really good, strong municipal services in Urbandale, so it's a really great choice. These are some of the safest cities in Iowa. Johnston is another great choice. The violent crime in Johnston reported is only 0.7 per 1,000. So not a lot of crime in that area. They've got great small numbers, great schools, great neighborhoods, and a fantastic location. Johnston is just one of the better locations in the Des Moines Metro. Waukee is very low overall rates. The violent crime rate in Waukee is 0.5 per 1,000. So almost no violent crime in Waukee, often rated with some of the best schools in Des Moines, either 1 or 2, with Ankeny. Ankeny is next. Ankeny has got a total crime rate of 1.19, let's just say 1.2 overall per 1,000 crime rate. Ankeny's a fantastic area. I have lots of videos about Ankeny, Waukee. In fact, a lot of these safe areas, I've got videos about all of them. There are some really great choices in the Des Moines area. The selling point for Ankeny really is the schools. The schools are fantastic also in Waukee, like I just mentioned. Anyway, those are some of the safest cities in Iowa, and they just so happen to all be in the Des Moines Metro, so that's awesome. So the practical takeaway from all of this is that these numbers are a tool, and I talked about it quite a bit in the video. Use these numbers as a tool to kind of get started. You want to drive down a little bit deeper once you figure out where you're going to move to, and drive into those neighborhoods. Go visit the neighborhoods during different times of the day and just check out. You want to look at police reports, all that kind of stuff. If safety is a major concern, then you're going to want to, I would say, probably the 2 of the best things: visit the neighborhood at different times, and also police reports. So anyway, I hope this video was helpful. If it was, you're going to want to tap subscribe and hit the bell for notifications so you can be the first to know about the current conditions in the area. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next video.